Hello, this is just a quick video concerning the full moon on the 5th of 2023. So we have 5/5/2023 that goes to an 8 number harmonic that day. That is this Friday. Friday was also a day where people celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Keep in mind it's Mercury retrograde. So not only is this a full moon, okay, with those number harmonics of 8, but it's a lunar eclipse. It's also the flower moon, okay? It's in Scorpio zodiac. Scorpio rules the 8th house. So that's double 8. What I was seeing with that, this is just channeled, okay, is the transformation of light and dark into unison, okay? So the infinite of one side and the infinite of the other side coming together. So this is really powerful for a lot of people who have had a hard time coming to an understanding of acceptance with certain situations. You'll know if you're one of those people because you tend to judge very, very harshly a situation, or you're one of those people who don't think anything of a situation. You just, and I'm not talking the balanced, I'm talking those who think everything's just great no matter what, okay? So it's the integration of those things is what the moon's bringing, but there's a lot more to that than that. So at this time, it's essential for all who choose to move forward with their higher goals to take advantage of the benefits of this full moon. Because it's always benefiting, right? It's just on how you view it and how you use the energies. And personal space right now is the best thing, right? Those of you who feel out of your energy, you're drained, or you feel scattered in any way, personal space is a must in order to get the full benefit of what this alignment offers you. And it's different for each person, but as a collective, it's not. The basics of this is for those of you that may have forgotten, okay, to ground, and I'm not talking through the basic grounding techniques people do. I'm talking to ground to your real self. It's a going within process. It's listening in stillness. That right there is your harmonic energy that you find in silence. So for those of you that are putting everything on your task manager and feel as though you're late on stuff and you have to rush things right now to get them done, during this full moon time, which it's already started, the pre-shadow and the post-shadow, right? During this whole time, forget about it, because your only task right now is your personal space, to find that, to have that. Boundaries with people. Turn everything off as far as electronics and sit still. There's a lot of activations that come from this once you do this, and it's going to be unique to everyone, but for collective, this is very important. So the flower moon, a lot of people, you know, is the farmer's almanac thing, this and that. But in a bigger sense, as a whole, all those seeds that we have planted, whether consciously or subconsciously, are now flowering. So another thing you can expect, whether it's you or the people around you or both, is emotional things coming to the surface for all to see. It's going to be right in front of you, okay? It's the full moon. It's going to be shown. These things can be shown in drastic ways, or these things can be shown in more gentle ways by you acknowledging them. And everybody's responsible for their own seeds, okay? And don't be judging other people's garden here, okay? Because there's some things that people have kept in for so long that it's become this really, really unhealthy thing. And they're no longer going to be able to keep those things in on the full moon. So it'll come out in different ways for them to acknowledge it and heal it. It's for their highest good. It's for the highest good of the collective. So when things go a little bit crazy, or you think, whoa, just know that these are not the people in their own value, right? This is really not this is something that's deep-seated coming out, okay? Because the individual refused to acknowledge it for so long, or there was no way to pull it out of them unless this was to happen in this alignment of the 8, okay? A lot of people have different viewpoints on numbers than I do, but numbers are unique to each individual as well. You could look at a number and not feel the same way I feel about that number because you have a unique experience with that number. You have experiences with that number, things you remember when you saw the number, and even if you weren't that observant with that number, you just might not like it, okay? Because you can't remember the number was there at a bad experience, but your subconscious does. So there's that. Also, a reminder again about the Mercury retrograde. We'll be out of it the 14th, but there is a post shadow for certain people. Those post and pre shadows to a retrograde is really not for everybody, okay? I've noticed pre shadows to retrogrades is to pre-prep that person who's going to go through a lot of things during that retrograde that they have put off. So the pre-shadow period is prepping them to take care of it during Mercury retrograde because they put it off for so long. An example would be, receiving a message or an email or this and that about something that you didn't take care of a long time ago. That it's very important to take care of now in order for you to move forward for your highest good. Okay? This could be a bill you forgot to pay, this and that or whatever. And next year, your path is to go and apply for a house loan or a car loan. But you forgot about this bill. And in order to get to next year and fulfill that's going to lead you to something else, you really need to take care of this thing. So pre-shadow Mercury, you probably find out that you owe something that you forgot about. And then, Mercury retrograde, not only are you paying that, but then you realize something else, right? So you're cleaning up your finances. And different example that's not physical, but most everything in this retrograde is physical and tangible because of the second house of the Mercury retrograde that it's in. It's Taurus season, okay? So it has to deal with objects, finances, anything in the physical realm. If it's something else that is keeping you from your physical stability, such as an emotional block that you have, mental block, emotional block, whatever, due to some sort of, trauma, this and that, you are going to be put in those situations that you had dealt with a long time ago that you shoved down or forgot about, and they'll appear during this retrograde. So that once you release those emotional blocks by being in this situation, face on, right, you have the chance to redeem yourself, get rid of them, so that once Mercury retrograde's over, it no longer is a block to your finances. This could be those of you that hermit too much, over hermit. You don't socialize, this and that. You just stay at home, this and that. You'll be put into situations that you actually kind of do want to go and partake in, right? You'll be invited to certain things that resonate with you. But there's going to also be this emotional or mental block in you saying, do I really want to get ready? Do I really want to, meet new people? Do I really want to blah, blah, blah? But it'll be so enticing during Mercury retrograde to go to some sort of event or go see somebody. sometimes to the extreme of somebody being sick and then everybody's there at the hospital or whatever with that person. And so you start interacting that way because it wants you to get rid of that emotional mental block that you've had for so long that's deep-seated. So you're facing that, right? And it's kind of a forceful way that Mercury retrograde makes you do things. It doesn't make you do things. It gives you the opportunity to do them that you wouldn't have done prior, right? That's all it's about. Those of you, I don't even want to talk about this, but those of you that are still stuck on your exes and think you're not, right? Like those people say, I never want my ex back. I hope they don't come back in Mercury retrograde. Those are the people who are actually still stuck on them, okay? Because you wouldn't have to say it. You wouldn't even be thinking it. You're manifesting it by default by saying it too, okay? Because just the pure fact that you still hold some sort of like really negative feelings towards that person means there's unfinished business. So if that person, that physical, actual person doesn't come back during Mercury retrograde, you will get somebody just like them. Just like them. Different face, different time. Okay? But it's the same energy. And that's for you to release and heal. Because relationships are not here to screw us up. We screw ourselves up by the way that we handle them. They're here to teach us more about ourselves. Okay? It's no fun to sit there in the pool with nobody, right? What fun is that? When you add people into the pool and this and that, there's the party, right? There's the interaction. So hopefully that made sense. So that's for some people who are stuck on past relationships. They don't have to be romantic either. Okay. It could be a sibling relationship that you have not healed. Okay. And you'll have somebody come into your life that reminds you of your sibling. And you'll have a lot of compassion towards that person. That right there is Mercury retrograde at its finest, giving you the opportunity, even though you're not talking to that sibling, or maybe that sibling's not alive to talk to clear it. Okay? This is the way energy works. And it's an acknowledgement of your soul, or whatever you believe in. It's an acknowledgement of you that, okay, I can let that go now. Because that experience heals the situation that was left open, open door. That's what Mercury retrograde does for those things that involve relationships. And hopefully that's not the case for a lot of you, because this is a really opportune time to have the Mercury retrograde with finances. Because when we come into the end of the 7-year Saturn cycle, I'm not going to tell you what to do and what you should and this and that, but you really do want to be completely financially stable for the next 7-year cycle of Saturn. And I'm talking physically, okay? Like bank accounts, this and that, what you own. You don't want to be indebted to any entity or person or this and that the next 7-year cycle that starts. We're just in the first 7-year cycle, but the next 7-year cycle with Saturn, you want to be free from all that. So this Mercury retrograde gives you the opportunity to fix your finances a little quicker in this retrograde. Just acknowledge it and start working on it. Everything practical, because it's the Taurus retrograde. Okay? All right, that's all I have.